So I'm going to be talking about what I perceive to be the predecessor of pride in every other human frailty, and that is fear. Now, before I begin, well, actually, two things. The video this is in response to, the one with the hamster and the snake, to me that is a beautiful illustration of what I'm going to be trying to convey through this video, and that is that there is absolutely nothing in the entire world that has power over us unless we are afraid of it, including fear itself. Also, to me, the easiest way to contend with something is if you understand it. And in order to understand something, I think that it's a good thing to break it down into its most simple form. So in the beginning of this video, I'm not going to be talking about fear as a human emotion, but as a universal motivation, or what could be perceived as being a universal motivation. Now, to begin, well, I believe that there are two forces in the universe responsible for every single thing that's in existence. Creation, some may call it God, and destruction, some may call it the devil. Now, creation is, it always was, it always will be, and what I mean by that is, well, we cannot exist outside of space, and space and time are codependent, and that space cannot exist without time, and time cannot exist without space. So therefore, even if space began yesterday, that would mean that between yesterday and today is eternity for us, always. And even if space ends tomorrow, that would mean that between today and tomorrow is always for us. Now, in terms of destruction, it isn't. Never was, never will be. And what I mean by that is, destruction cannot appear to exist unless it's destroying a creation. And once it's finished destroying the creation, destruction goes back to what it in actuality is, which is nothing. And also, destruction does not have any more of a say over what it destroys than a reflection has over what it reflects. And that's actually what I believe the destructive unreality is, a reflection of the creative reality. Now, if you want to think of the two as being conscious beings, you can readily perceive a motivation as coming off of each. Destruction, because it needs to destroy in order to appear to exist, it could be seen as operating out of fear. Creation, because it does not need to create in order to exist, because the creative process is only one aspect of what creation is. Creation is the creation itself. So therefore, if you want to think of creation as being a conscious being and having the choice and choosing to be in a perpetual state of creation, you could think of creation as being motivated out of love for its creations, or in other words, out of love for creation itself. Now, if you, whether you think of these two as being conscious forces, conscious beings or not, and whether they are, I really don't know, but what I do know is that the two motivations that they would have exist in all of us. Every last one of us has love, and every last one of us has fear. And every last one of us is constantly making the choice whether to live through love or through fear. Now, out of fear comes every single human frailty, hate, competition, pride, hopelessness, insecurity, control, as in being a control freak, rage, destruction, cruelty, habit, lies, demise, sickness, self-doubt, and confusion. Now, out of love goes every human virtue. Humility, hope, faith, joy, romantic love, creativity, compassion, awareness, truth, youth, health, confidence, freedom, understanding, and self-awareness. Now, what I mean by self-awareness, because self-awareness and self-consciousness easily get confused, and let me explain what the difference is. Think of a hiker, okay, and the hiker is walking through the woods, and they're not being bothered at all by mosquitoes. And the hiker comes across a stream, and they roll up their legs, their pant legs, and they wade across the stream, and they get to the other side, and they're walking, and all of a sudden they notice they're being absolutely bombarded with mosquitoes. Now, self-consciousness would be, a metaphor for self-consciousness would be the hiker says, this force is coming at me, and I'm, there's nothing I can do, and they start just batting away and flapping away at the mosquitoes in vain, thinking that no matter what, they're going to be attacked by mosquitoes. The metaphor for awareness would be the hiker says to themselves, before I crossed that stream, I wasn't getting attacked by mosquitoes. What changed from between then and now? Well, and then they step outside of themselves, because that's what I actually believe self-consciousness is. You're locked inside of yourself, and you're seeing, the outside is coming at you, and you're taking it personally, like there's something wrong with me that I'm being attacked, and there's nothing I can do about it. A self-aware person steps outside of themselves and looks at themselves, and in this case, the hiker would step outside of themselves and observe, my pant legs are rolled up. And they would, obviously that's making me more susceptible to being attacked by mosquitoes. And they roll down their pant legs, and, the bombardment would cease. Or at least, not completely. Obviously, everyone's going to get bit by mosquitoes when they're in the wilderness, but not having exposed skin, they're far less likely to come at you. So, I guess, and the truth of the matter is that self-awareness is something that's unique to our species. But not all of us have self-awareness. If we choose to live through fear, we don't have self-awareness. We either fight or we run away. We don't try to see what it is about us that is causing the situation to occur, that's negative. And I'm going to talk about that in my next video.